What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Blood on the Razor Wire TV. Got a dude on, Missouri Mike. Plenty of people know who he is. He's been around a long time, done some things, been some places, but you've heard it before. But Mike, we're going to tell the people who you are, where you're from, and let's talk a little bit about you, brother.
My name is Missouri Mike. I'm from Jefferson City, Missouri. I got indicted on indictment in 2014 for possession with intent to distribute. It was my first time as a nonviolent drug offender.
First time as a nonviolent drug offender. What's the first prison they send you to?
Pollock, Louisiana.
Pollock, Louisiana. You're walking into USP Pollock?
USP Pollock.
How old are you at the time?
I'm probably 31. I'm 41 now.
31, you're walking into Pollock, whatever we want to call it, right? One of the most dangerous prisons in the country. Numerous people are killed in this spot. What's it like over there for you?
Man, I heard stories like when I was going through transit, because I did a little state time in my state, but it was nothing compared me to this. And I got on the yard and I knew a couple of the fellas from Missouri because we got a deep car there. Missouri's got probably 60 white boys. You know, I run independent white. And, so I knew a couple fools. When I got there, I introduced myself. But, I mean, it was intimidating just walking down the lane, man. They'd be banging on the windows. So first thing that scared me, man, is when I got to R&D, man, the cop told me, well, he told all of us. He's like, first and foremost, if you're a sex offender, you're a rat, your paperwork's fucked up, check in, get off the yard. He said, and then the dudes that are going to the yard, when you get in there, you better sharpen you a knife. And I was like, man, this dude's full of shit. He's just trying to scare a motherfucker. So I go in and half my bunk's missing. My desk, half my desk missing. They done cut knives out of this thing. The metal detectors didn't work. You know what I'm saying? Like, I went out on the yard. I introduced myself. I knew some of the fellas from Missouri. You know, they told me straight up. First day I got there, I didn't even put in work. My paperwork wasn't even there yet. I nothing. They was ready to give me a knife. They're like, here's a banger, dog. I said, man, I don't need that. You know what I'm saying? I'll throw my hands. I ain't finna stab nothing. I'm here on a drug offense, dog. Man, it was the next day. I went back out to the yard and said, hey, man, give me a bone crusher, dude. Because everybody in my unit had a knife. You know what I'm saying?
Let's talk a little bit about R&D when you first walk in, right? I mean, I was in Pollock too. As soon as I get there, dudes are checking in right off the bus.
Oh, there was only 8 of us out of a bus of probably 30. There was only 8 of us going to the pound. You know, they was checking in left and right. Like you said, they was scared. They was gone, man. They wasn't touching the yard.
I always said, man, on my channel, like people that have been here a long time, the toughest white dudes, the toughest honkies I ever met were from Missouri, man. Them white dudes from Missouri can fight, brother.
Yeah, they ain't playing. But it sucks, dude. I'm telling you, it sucked when I got to that yard because of how many Missouri dudes was there. It was just chaos. It was shit, man. And then I got to, yards where there wasn't a lot of Missouri dudes, and it was kind of a lot better, man. So I didn't like it because of how many Missouri dudes was there.
So you're in Pollock, man. Pretty violent place, right?
Yeah. The first day I was there, a DC dude stabbed a South dude over the phone, man. It was something just crazy. I think the kid ran out to the phone because we was on a lockdown. I showed up and it was on lockdown. So once I show up, we get off lockdown the very next day. And I go in for meeting the fellas and shit and go back into the unit. And there was a DC cat fat face and Mike West. Mike West been in the system for a long time. And dude was on their phone, man. I guess they said something to him about it before running out to get on the phone. They butchered him, dude. And, that first seeing that, I was like, oh, man, where the fuck am I at, dude? This is crazy, And then my family, I'm calling home once we do get out. And I'm like, man, they're waiting for my phone calls and shit. But it's been a month since I've been there and they ain't received a phone call. So they're like, man, what is going on? And I'm trying to tell them about this place, man. And they don't really know because they know about prison from state or Camp Fed or people talking about the feds and you're getting tennis courts and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? And good food and all these things. So I'm trying to break it down to them like, man, this place is crazy. And my paperwork's good. I'm a good wood. I'm not a sex offender. I've never had a sex case. I'm stand strong. I'm solid. And I still felt tension all the time. Hey, am I going to get smoked? What, it's just so chaotic there, man.
Talk about the environment, Mike, for a minute, right? Some that people can't understand. Some people might be listening like, come on, bro, every day. What's the environment like? What's the air like, man? When you're in this day room, and you're sitting out there, what's it like?
Oh, it's crazy. You could cut the tension with a knife because you belong to somebody. You are not riding by yourself. All that standalone shit. I got a lot of homeboys I'd ride by myself. I wouldn't get in the car. You don't have a choice, dog. Everybody belongs to somebody. And every day in Pollock, they lock every inmate in that chow hall while you eat. So everybody's in there. People are politicking, man. You go out on the yard. I didn't know what politics was. We don't have that shit in our state joint. If you're a good man, you're a good man. You're one of the fellas. We kick it. So I get there. I don't know what politics are. Everybody's talking about it and shit. And then, so after breakfast, they unlock the door at the chow hall and they let you go out onto the yard. And when you go out onto the yard, it's just piles of cars. So you got the South car, you got the natives, you got the Norteños, you got, because it's a Norteño yard. So you don't have Pisces and shit, but you got all these different groups and they're just out there politicking. And something's fitting to happen. So everybody's looking around. Everybody's just waiting. And then boom, somebody's getting stabbed. And I'm telling you, when I was there, dude, 10 months out of the year, you were behind a door. You were locked down 10 months out of the year because every time you come up, something happens. It's inedible. I couldn't believe it. You don't get like my mom and them was like, man, you should, go to school in there and do this and do. Man, you can't even go to medical call outs. You can't go nowhere. You cannot leave your cell if you're on lockdown, dude. It's unreal. And then like talking to the cops or going to the lieutenant's office or anything, you have to have somebody with you. If you don't have somebody with you, you're getting crushed. They are going to fuck you up because you done went and talked to a cop without somebody with you. My paperwork's good. I didn't understand that aspect of it because my paperwork's good. I'm a good dude. You were automatically insinuating I'm a rat or something, like I'm going to go because I got to ask a CO, and it took me a minute to get used to that adjustment because I wasn't used to that, man. If I needed a roll of toilet paper, I'd just go up to the CO, hey, man, I need a roll of toilet paper. They'd be on like, hey, Missouri Mike, you can't be doing that. Don't be going up to that police without somebody with you, So it's just a shell shock. And then the violence that I seen there, it was unreal, man. It was unspeakable.
When you talk about the violence that you see, there's young dudes watching. Some people are fascinated by prison and by the violence and, that type of stuff. Before you went there, let me ask you this. Before you went to prison, man, you see a prison movie. Maybe you see the Gladiator days with Troy Kell or, Blood In, Blood Out back in the day. You're probably around my age group.
Yeah.
Did you ever glamorize prison? You ever think, man, prison makes you tough?
No, I never glamorized it because I grew up in a penitentiary family. You know what I'm saying? Like my dad's been to the joint. My uncles have been to the joint. So I never really like glamorized it as, oh, fuck, you're tough. You do this. I kind of looked at it like I went to state prison when I was young. I felt like a dumbass. I'm a smart dude, man. I work hard. I make money. I was out there 10 years, man. After I got out the state joint, I was out 10 years doing good, man, and made a dumbass decision to make a quick dollar. You know what I'm saying? So it was never really idolizing it, but I see it now, man. When I get out, my son's 15. When I went to prison, he was 5, 4. The first thing he's asking me is, Dad, man, what's up? Did you see some fights? Did you, and I'm like, man, or what's the gangs like in there? And I'm like, dude, that shit ain't cool, man. You know what I'm saying? And not only am I dealing with that, man, I got out. I feel like I was in the war or something. I feel like I got PTSD or something. It's hard for me to get. I've only been out about 6 or 7 months, man. And it's been an adjustment to me to be out in society and just to let that guard down, dude.
Stop you for a minute, right? Because you talked about, your dad and your uncles, they all been to the joint, done a bunch of time. And now you do some time and now your son's 15 and he's like, hey, Dad, what? It's up to you to stop that cycle now, right?
Exactly, dude. That's all I'm living for, dude. I'm on the up and up. For real, I swear to you, dude, I've said this many times. I think everyone should start their prison bit out at a penitentiary, dog. Just because, like, when I went to the state joint, it didn't open my eyes for real. You got a TV in your fucking cell. You're kicking it with the homeboys, time's flying. You're not thinking about shit. I went to that pen, dude. That shit broke me, man. That shit broke me, you know. And not only did I go to the pen, I went everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Talk about that, because you've seen some people get murdered. You've been to the Smooth program, but we'll get there in a second. You talked about the violence that you've seen in Pollock, right? What's something that you've seen that affected you mentally and emotionally, or maybe made you think like, damn, bro?
Dude, I had a homeboy, man, that was a good-ass dude, man. He was a good dude. He had a downward departure for the way he was raised. So he was raised, his mom was a crackhead. She sold pussy. She was fucked up. You know, he lived in a fucked up environment, man. So the judge took into consideration with that. But these clowns don't know how to check paperwork. So they politic on it and they crush this dude, man. And he's my friend. You know what I'm saying? I'm in another unit. And they stomped this kid's head in, dude. I'm talking fucked him up. And it was so bad that we were on lockdown and the police were mad about it because they was like, dude's not fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Like, you all did a bad hit. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody there is protected. You know what I'm saying? And it's another thing that scares me is the politics, dude. It's favoritism. If you're a popular guy, if you can make yourself popular, you can make it. You know what I'm saying? If they don't like you, you're getting crushed. You know what I'm saying? I've seen it to good dudes. It ain't like dudes are just going to the pens that are fucking sex offenders and rats that are getting crushed and killed. You know what I'm saying? 90% of the dudes that are getting crushed and killed on these yards are good dudes. They just fucking weren't hip, or they were green, or somebody like that. My homeboy Chris, man, they read his paperwork wrong, dude. Once we figured it all out, it was like, dude, he got a downward departure from the fucking judge. He didn't tell him nobody. The judge felt sorry for the kid, man. He was like 20 years old.
You can get a downward departure for mental health issues and
exactly
under 5K2, not 5K1, right?
Exactly, and yeah.
You said they seen that 5K and we're about to crush this dude, bro.
Yeah, didn't even give it a chance. They just seen the downward departure and just went ahead and crushed it. And I seen that ain't the only time I seen some bullshit. You know what I mean? There's been several times where I've seen good dudes get fucked off, man.
Let me ask you this. You talked about the violence. We talked about your homeboy getting his head kicked in. What other type of things have you seen over there at Pollock that affected you?
Oh, dude, I've seen so many stabbings. Like, for real, like, I met a lot of good men from D.C., man. And I fuck with a lot of good men from D.C., you know. They got a bad rap. You know, people say shit, what they want to say about them. But when I was, you know, in there, they stood on law. You know what I'm saying? And the ones I fucked with did. But they was pushing that still, man. They was stabbing shit. You know, the natives were going hard. Fuck the white boy. Everybody was stabbing shit. I seen so many stabbings in there. And you know, eventually after I was there for a while, a couple years, the fellas put me in a position to where I was kind of in a role. You know what I'm saying? So I had to make decisions to where, you know, I tried to play fair, but it was still something like you can't turn down when they do ask you to do it. And it was just all kinds of stuff, dude. I seen, you know, a cat asked me, he was actually from, he rode with the Boston car. His name was Mike Monroe, man. And he was a good dude, but the COs tore up his cell and he was pissed off, man. They threw his shit down he did a lot of law work, threw his shit down on the floor and all this shit. So he calls me to go with him to talk to him. You know, Missouri Mike, come with me, man. So I'm standing there listening to him talk, and the CO's being an asshole. You know what I mean? He's like, I'll do what the fuck I want. I'm going to tear your shit up. I don't give a fuck. And Mike said, what'd you say? And he went to say it again, and just out of nowhere, Mike got on him and beat the shit out of this CO. And the other CO was in the bathroom at the time. So he just dogged his ass out. I seen so many staff assaults and so many stabbings that it was unreal. There padlocks, people putting padlocks on a belt, dude, and just crushing dudes, man. And there it's kind of, you know, they want you to put in work. Everybody in the feds and the USPs put in work. They send 2 guys on one. You have to put in work. Pollock, you couldn't even control the TV remote unless you put in work. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it was, man. And, you know, they'd send 2 guys on one, and they would usually want you to get them in the cell. You know what I'm saying? So you're going in a cell with another dude to beat up a dude. and shit gets crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? You're smashing dude's head off the desk or off the floor, or hitting him with the padlock till they can't even move, dude. And it's crazy, man. And you can't say no. You have to put in work. You know what I'm saying? The first time you say no, you're through. Your ass is work.
Why do you think people are so thirsty for violence in there? Is it because of the loneliness, the depression, the like, man, my life's fucked? Because there are people in there that are thirsty for violence, right?
There is, dude. And there's some dudes that just thrive off of it. Like, I've met so many dudes that's their life. That is their life. And what kills me the most, bro, is 80% of the dudes that I met in there, it wasn't lifers that was doing the shit. It's dudes that were going home. Fucking Boston Spark, he had 6 months till he was going home, dude. He's out there calling hits and doing. I mean, that's just who he is, man. They love that shit. They thrive off of it. But I think a lot of the shit is the way we're treated in there, dude. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're fucking locked behind a door. You lock us behind a door for 6 months, 3 months. We was on a 3-month lockdown, dude. You don't get no food, no nothing, to shower every 3 days. You know, the food's horrible. It's just, you ain't got nothing to do with your time, dude. When I was at a pen, there was absolutely nothing I could do with my time. Like, I couldn't go to vocational training. I couldn't do none of this shit to better myself to go into society as a normal motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I'm going into society straight from the SMOO program to Big Sandy to home, you know? And it's like, fuck, man, you didn't rehabilitate me or teach me shit while I was in there. I didn't have a chance.
Let me say this, because on the other side of the aisle, right, there'll be people that'll say, you should be locked in, and they let you out. You're all killing each other. What would be your response to something like that?
My response to something like that is just like, I mean, I understand. Yeah. They need to lock people down that do it and shit like that. But 9 times out of 10, the 2 dudes or the dudes that were involved are in the box, are getting transferred. So you got us locked down over some shit when you got the dudes that did the shit in the box. There's no more threat on the yard, but you're going to keep us down for 90 days, which all that does is fuel the fire. Now you got a motherfucker down 90 days. We're stressed out. We're cussing at each other behind doors. Now the doors come open and it's back to square one. You know what I'm saying?
Talk about that, because that's why you end up leaving Pollock, right? A couple white dudes beefing on the door. Tell the people what happens.
Yeah, so I was cool with both dudes, man. The youngster was from Florida. His name was Jax. My buddy, he was kind of a strange dude, man. He was from Mississippi, I think. His name was Bruce, man. He had 40 years. He's been down a long time. A lot of people know him as Radio. He would fix electronics and shit like that. And I was cool with both of them, man. But they hated each other, didn't like each other, man. They got to blowing on the door to each other. But we were on top tier, bottom tier, which is bottom tier gets out for 2 hours in the morning. Top tier gets out for 2 hours in the afternoon. We was on that shit for about 3 months, man. They was blowing on each other. They could never get to each other. You know, the yard politicked and said, hey, look, man, they just need to go in a cell, catch wreck, handle their business, and squash that shit. So one day Jax gets out and he fucking is going to get his meds, and he gets out and Bruce is out on rec. So he goes right up to Bruce and he's like, hey, man, let's get this one. So they go in the cell and they catch wreck, man. They fucking Jax beat up Bruce. The dude with 2 years beat up the dude with 40 years. So they shook hands. It was all over with. Everybody went to doing their shit. I was an orderly, you know, so I'm out cleaning, doing my thing. Next thing I know, I hear some commotion. Bruce done come out of the room with about a 9-inch ice pick and stuck dude in the back of the neck about 4 times. Well, he took off running and got away. He went and grabbed his knife. So now they're in the middle of the wing knife fighting. Jack's done been stabbed. I think they said he got stabbed, ended up getting stabbed 17 times. Bruce got stabbed twice, and it killed him, man. It cut an artery to his heart, and he fell on the ground dead, man. Took his life one day.
Let me stop you for a minute. What year was Bruce killed?
Bruce was killed in 2020.
You sure Bruce wasn't from Ohio?
Bruce was from Ohio, dude. Bruce was from Ohio. My bad.
There's so many people that want to know, like, look, his brother's Hollywood, okay? I know Bruce for a long time. Bruce was known to have some hands, man. He's from Ohio.
Yeah.
No one knows what happened to Bruce or how Bruce died over there at Pollock.
That's exactly how, dog. I was there. I was in that wing. You know what I'm saying? It was a fucked up situation, man, because the kid really didn't want to do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Bruce pushed that. Bruce just did not like this kid, man. He just didn't like him. Motherfuckers tried to tell Bruce, man, like, leave the kid alone, man. He's a youngster. He's got 3 years. Only reason why dude was at a pen was because he had a case pending, some bullshit ass case pending out of Florida. So they sent him straight to a pen his first bit. You know what I'm saying? And it just got to a point to where all the politicers were like, damn, dude's calling you a bitch. Dude's calling you a bitch behind the door. You know, soup this kid up to fight dude. You know what I'm saying? To actually fight Bruce. And I know for a fact it was over with. I was there. You know what I'm saying? I went in the cell to make sure, hey, everything's good, right, Bruce? He's like, yeah, they shook hands. It was over with, dude. Over with. Bruce couldn't handle it, man. He come out that cell with the banger and hit dude in the neck. You know what I'm saying? And dude went upstairs and got his knife, and they just basically knife fighted it out. You know what I'm saying? There was one other kid, Ricky. He was an AB something. I think he was AB Mississippi or something, or used to be. Some weird shit was going on with him. But he was just standing there, and he was trying to calm Bruce because Bruce is cool with him. You know what I'm saying? Well, Bruce turned to stab Ricky. You know what I'm saying? And that's when Jax come running up with his knife and hitting like 1 or 2 times, dude, and just got his artery, dude. And then they emptied a can of mace. The cops just sat there and sprayed Bruce in the face with mace, dude, for probably 2 or 3 minutes. I'm talking, it was bad. You know what I mean? So Bruce dies. They lock me, Ricky, Florida D, Alabama Billy. They lock all the white dudes that was out on the tier at the time. They lock us up, send us to the shoe. We're down there for about, probably 2 months, 3 months, and they say, hey, SMU referred. You're going to the SMU. So I'm in up because of COVID. I'm been in the shoe for 11 months, waiting to go to the SMU program. I don't have no idea what the SMU program is. I'm hearing about shit. Like, I didn't even get a shot, bro. I got sent to the SMU with no shot.
Mikey, I want to stop you for a minute because I'm friends with Bruce's family, man. His brother Hollywood's been in, probably 25, 30 years almost. And a lot of his family members still have no answers from Pollock about what happened to Bruce. And Bruce was known to have them hands, but he's getting older. And
he was getting older, and he put up a fight. Jax was lumped up. Jax just didn't go up in there and beat him up, dude. You know what I'm saying? Bruce put them hands on him. But Bruce tired out. You're talking this kid's 21 years old that he's fighting, dude. Bruce is 40. You know what I'm saying? Bruce was just winded. It was over with. It was done. Neither one of them was leaking, though. They just knotted up.
What's it like for you? Because when you emailed me, you said, hey, man, 2 good white dudes. These were considered to be 2 good white dudes. They end up in a beef. Bruce don't like the kid. And I've seen older dudes give younger dudes issues, like give them problems, right? And it doesn't work out, but you see Bruce die, man. What's it like? To see him fall on the ground? I mean, did he die instantly, or was he just? Bro,
he didn't die instantly. It was crazy, bro. He fucking, and it fucked with me for days. I lost sleep on it, dude, because I felt like, damn, is there anything that I could have done to fucking avoid that? Is there anything that I could have done to try to help? Because I felt bad, dude. I was cool with Bruce. Me and Bruce was cool. He worked on my shit. I was cool with Jax, though, too. I didn't have a beef with neither one of these dudes. Nobody did. It was their personal beef. You know what I mean? But it fucked with me, dude. He gets stabbed. They spray these dudes with 2 cans of fucking mace, man. I mean, they maced these dudes. And Bruce stood up, and he took 2 steps, bro, and he just fucking, bam, collapsed. But I seen a puddle of blood that was like this thick, coagulated, you know what I'm saying? I knew it was over with. I said, oh, man, dude. He got an artery or something, man. And sure enough, they come in with the CSI, the investigation shit, and did their investigation, And it's just like, and I couldn't even tell, you can't say nothing to these SIS investigators. You're not allowed to talk to them. So you can't even tell what really happened because they're thinking, oh, well, it must have been a hit, or they're thinking all kinds of crazy shit when this is the story, man. This is really what happened. 2 dudes got in a beef. One didn't like the way it turned out and stabbed the motherfucking youngster. But Bruce was going through a lot of shit, dude, because he was talking to me and my cellie like a week before that, just saying how, I just don't have a purpose no more, man. My people don't hardly fuck with me. Talking about his dad or somebody wasn't answering the phone, and they just quit, communicating on that level with him to where he was feeling comfortable, because he was basically telling my cellie basically how he was just felt like he was nothing. You know what I'm saying? Felt like he didn't have nobody no more, and he still got all this time left. And he just ain't got nothing to go home to. He has nothing, you know, he was just down, dude. He was miserable, bro.
Sadly, man, after Bruce died, I was in communication with his sister, and she died too and left.
Oh,
she left
man.
a little 7-8-year-old boy, man, a little son, man.
That's sad, dude.
You know?
Because Bruce was a good dude. He'd tithe and everything. He'd send his money to the church. Like he was like, it was crazy because I didn't even know he was into Christianity like he was, man, until after the fact, you know. But I just feel bad about that whole situation, dude. It was a really fucked up situation. And you know, it's so fucked up in them pins, you can't talk to the pops. So I couldn't even tell him what happened. Nothing. So little Jax, he's in fucking ADX, man, with 3 years left on his sentence. You know, don't know nothing about the feds, dude's up in the ADX. He calls me as a witness, dude. I'm in Big Sandy. They call me off the yard talking about, hey, dude, you want to be a witness for this dude? Fuck no. You know what I'm saying? I can't go witness for nobody on nothing. I can't do that. They're going to crush me, dude. You know? And I couldn't even help the dude out as far as like tell him what really happened. Like, dude, it was fucking, he got stabbed 7 times, however many times in his neck, and went and got his knife, dude. You know what I'm saying? It's a crazy situation, dude. That it's just fucked up in there, dude.
Dude loses his life. The other kid loses his life because he goes in there with 2 or 3 years, and they sent him to a penitentiary. And next thing you know, now he's got a body, and he might be spending the rest of his life in federal prison and a bunch of years in ADX.
Crazy, man.
You end up leaving. You end up going to the SMOO program over this, right?
I ended up going to the SMOO program, man, and it took 11 months to get there. It's a 9-month program, and it is fucked up, dude. It was in Thompson, Illinois. The cops are all crooked. It's crazy. I mean, as soon as I get there, I'm already hearing shit like, you know, they're putting sex offenders in with good dudes, and they're just jacking people's wreck, man. They're going out. You go out to wreck in a cage with 6 dudes at the time, which they end up cutting that out to where you only go in with your celly due to the violence that was going on. I mean, there was a fight every day, people dying in that place, man. And like I seen it, they were putting ex-Norteños in with good Norteños and ex-Texas Emmys with Texas dudes, you know, just to see. It was like they was wanting to watch the fights, man. It was like a movie to them. Like they was getting off on it, man.
I interviewed the warden, the AW, that was the AW probably when you were there, Whitmore. I interviewed him on my channel. And he pretty much, and the warden, that was the warden when you were there. He's been on NPR. He's talked about, you know, the stuff that was going on. The cops were against the warden because they were trying to stop the violence. They were trying to stop the cops from four-punching people and beating the shit out of prisoners and spitting in your food. And the cops and the union president, who's a piece of shit, they went after the warden in AEW.
Yeah. Hey, it's crazy, dude. You know, they had so, you know, if a sex offender or a check-in, you know, a rat, whatever, they fucking go to these dropout yards, man. So that's who was making the food for the inmates there when I was there, man. It was, they have a check-in yard on the other side. That's the perms. And they were the dudes that were making the food for us over there. You'd find all kinds of shit in your food. I mean, it was a horrible place, dude. And then, like, you have to ride in there. Like, these white dudes are retarded, bro. Like, a dude wouldn't get an apple on his tray, and he's wanting to take the team. Well, if he takes the team, every good white dude on that in that unit has to take the team. So now if I take the team, I get a shot, and my time starts all the way back over to do 9 months again. I was end up there like 17 months, man.
There's some people that don't know what taking the team is. Tell them what taking the team is.
Taking the team's where you board your window up. You put a piece of cardboard or wet toilet paper over your window, and the COs can't do their count, so they can't see you, and they have to see you. So they'll call the SRT or like a CERT team, and they'll come marching in, man, holding shoulders. They got this big ass, it's like a push cart, man, and it's got rubber bullets. It's got mace bombs. It's got all this shit. And they would be down there betting on how many, you know, the cell could take, and it was just crazy, dude, because it was happening every day, man. People were taking teams. So these cops would rush in, stick something through the chuck hole, and then start sliding these rubber bullet grenades that would shoot these rubber bullets out. And and they'd end up getting you out of your cell, you know what I'm saying? But then they would take you in the back and rough you up, slam you, put you in the 4 points, fucking, spray mace in your eyes once they got you in the 4 points. It was a horrible place, man. That time right there did something to my psyche, man. It really fucked with me in there, man, because you're behind a door. You get 1 hour of rec in the morning, and that's if you are up at 5 o'clock in the morning with your bed made. You can't have a piece of toilet paper in the toilet or you ain't getting rec. And then you get a shower once every 3 days. It was hell, man. I felt like I was never getting out of there, but I ain't going to lie. When I was on that bus getting out of Pollock, I was thanking God. I literally said a prayer to God, thanking him, man, that I made it out of Pollock, dude, without having to butcher somebody or get stabbed, man, because it's just a fucked up spot, dude. And for real, I heard stories about all these pens, and dude, I get to Big Sandy, and it's no fucking better. It's the same shit, dude. It's the same exact thing going on at every penitentiary, dude. It's just
a smooth program. You're locked down. It's pretty much solitary confinement with one other dude. You're in this cell. It's like you're in a concrete mausoleum, right?
Yeah.
You're in there. Are there days where you're like, you just feel like giving up, man? Are there days when you put your head under the blankets and maybe shed a tear, maybe on a Christmas?
Dude, I ain't gonna lie. I shed many a tears, man. Talking to my babies on the phone, and just I'd get one phone call a month, and just trying to be a part of their life. Like in the county jail, dude, I'm in a part of their life. I'm in a part of their life. I'm seeing them every visit. I'm, writing them letters. I'm talking to them on the phone. And there, it's like you just cut all communications up with society. You know what I'm saying? You get to write letters. You don't get phone calls. Visits ain't happening. You're way away from home. It's just, and it fucked with me, man. And it's crazy because I had a good homeboy that was my cellie, and we ended up getting a boxing match just because you're in there breathing the same air and you're just going through the same shit. And you just don't know how to deal with it, bro. So the littlest thing would spark something and you'd end up getting in a fight with your cellie. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, dude, I ain't going to lie, man. That time right there, it killed me, but it made me who I am today. And it made me where I'll never go back to prison. You know what I'm saying? I'll never go back to prison.
That's what I wanted to ask you. When you're laying in a smooth program, you're in this cell, right? Are you thinking like, you got an out date? Some people don't have an out date. Are you thinking, man, I can't wait for this to be over and it'll never happen again?
Yeah, I was thinking that, but then some parts of my mind, dude, I was thinking, fuck, man, I got to go to another pen. Like that, you're not guaranteed to go home, dude. You got really lucky that you went to FCI, dude, because most of the time it's like a trick bag, dude. You got to put in work. So you're usually going to get rolled and you're only at a pin for a couple years. And then you go to the next pin. You got to redo all the shit again, put in work. So you're catching shots. And it's just like, dude, it was like I was battling in my head. Like I'm never going to an FCI. I fucking am probably going to fucking go to another pin where I have to put in work. I fucking all this shit, but I got lucky, dude. When I left the smooth program, I went to Big Sandy, you know what I'm saying? And the fellas ended up letting me, after I was there a little while, go to the RDAP program. So I went to the RDAP program to get, I didn't get very much time off my sentence. I think I got like 6 months off my sentence, but it kept me out of the bullshit, man. It kept me to where I could lay back, go over to the program side and just focus on going home. You know what I'm saying?
Talk about what you said. You said the fellas let me go to RDAP. So people know the RDAP's the residential drug program. But, a lot of the dudes in the white car didn't allow the challenge program. They didn't allow you to go to these programs because they felt like, what, you're snitching over there. You got to do pull-ups. So white dudes weren't allowed to program for many, many years. You weren't allowed to go to that program that could get you home possibly a year earlier or 6 months earlier.
And it's still like that. I was a rare exception because I come from the smooth program and I've been in the system for a minute. So I knew a lot of the shot callers. So if you go to Big Sandy today and you're fresh in the system, you think you're going to go do this RDAP program. So they're going to send you to Big Sandy because it's the only RDAP program in the penitentiaries now. So if you got a case, if you have anything high points, you're going to Big Sandy. They right off the bus, the fellas are going to make you come to the yard. You have to put in work. and you have to be on the yard for at least 6 months before you can go to the RDAP program. Well, if your number's called to go to that RDAP program, this was happening every day when I was there. Dudes would get right off the bus and be like, hey, man, bro, I'm going to the RDAP. No, you're not. You're coming to the yard. Sign out. You need to sign out of the RDAP. So they'd make these fools sign out. Now they done passed their number up. Now they're out on the yard, put in work, and RDAP's over with. You're not going. You know what I'm saying? So it's, dude, we're killing each other in there. It's crazy, dude. Nobody wants you to go home, dude. It's like I seen dudes that were getting ready to go to FCIs that were going to the FCI, going to be able to make it and go and do something. And they'd be like, oh, well, you haven't put in work. Well, damn, dog, I've been on the waiting list for 7-8 months now. I haven't turned down no put in work. Well, you got to put in work before you do that transfer. They do put in the work, and now they're not going to an FCI. You know what I'm saying? It's sad, dude. It's a horrible. And I feel the only reason why I wanted to even, I reach out to you because I feel like you're doing something. I feel like people don't get to know how these places are, man. So they got sons, they got brothers, they got husbands that are going to these places, and they don't understand. They don't know how it is. They're thinking the same thing my people thought. Oh, Camp Fed, we heard all these stories and all this shit. And then, oh, my husband's got RDAP. He's going to make it home. And in the shit that we go through when we go to these pens, man, people need to know this shit, man. They need to know how real and how fucked up it is in there, man. And it is life and death. There's dudes dying all the time in there. There's stabbings all the time. I thought Pollock was bad, dude. I got to Big Sandy. The white car in Big Sandy is killing the white car in Pollock. The white car is not playing around at Big Sandy. They're pushing steel. There's a bunch of gang members on the yard. They got fucking armed dudes, sack dudes, NLRs. They got everybody's on the yard, dude. And it's just chaos, dude, all the time.
Who owns that yard over there? The independents or gang dudes?
Well, when I first got there, a sack dude was trying to run it, and then they keep putting dudes in there, and then they end up getting crushed, man. They'll start with somebody else. And when I left, it was a white dude. I think his name was JJ. He might have been from Texas, I think. I kind of stayed away from the yard once they put me and once I left A-side and went to the RDAP program, I fucking left the yard alone. I tried to stay out of the politics, out of the shit as much as I could, man. I'd holler at the fellas. They'd be like, what's up, Mikey? What's up, Missouri Mike? What's up, dude? I'd keep pushing. I'm trying to go. I was done, dude. I was done after the SMOO program and after Pollock and just seeing the shit that I seen. I was through with it, dude.
You ever cry at night, man?
Man, I ain't gonna lie. I cry all the time, dude. Shit, I catch myself sometimes out here thinking about shit and just, what kills me the most is my kids, man. My kids. My daughter told me the other day, dude, she was riding the bus and this little boy, well, he was about probably 14. He said, man, you and your brother look a lot alike. And she's like, well, yeah, I got the same mom and dad. And the kid said, you ain't got no dad. You ain't had no dad. We ain't seen no dad. You ain't got no dad. And she's telling me this shit on the phone, dude. And I lost it. I just broke down. You know what I'm saying? I failed at holding down the responsibilities as a father. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, statistically, that's what's wrong with this country. What's wrong with everything, there's a lot of kids out there without their fathers. You know what I'm saying? And I feel bad for them, dude. That's what kills me the most. Not the time, not nothing else. Is just my kids not having me.
Man, I respect that 100%. I want to see you be the best father and stop that cycle of, it went from your dad, your uncles to you, and you got a 15-year-old boy. You got to be the best father you could be, man.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely.
When I asked you about, do you cry at night, or you ever see Bruce in your dreams, or you ever feel like you're still in prison and wake up?
Dude, all the time. I ain't going to lie, man. I tell my, like I told you, man, I feel like I got PTSD, dude. Like me and my chick's straight-laced, you know what I mean? She's straight-laced. She has never been in trouble. She don't know nothing but what I've told her, you know what I'm saying? But like going out to the club or going out to somewhere where it's heavily populated, man, I still get that feeling like when you go out on a prison yard, you know what I'm saying? Like just always watching out, like something's going to happen or or it's fucked up, man. It feels like I almost got like PTSD or something from the shit, anxiety or something. You know what I'm saying? It's a nonstop thing. Like, you don't wake up and have a good day in a pen. You don't just wake up and everything's cool and you're just going about. You wake up just thinking what's going to happen today. Who's getting crushed? Which car is it? Because you've got 50 cars. There's a bus every 2 weeks. There's always work, dude. It's just all there is to it, man. And
you still sleep with a weapon? You keep a weapon by you?
No, not really. I got a pocket knife up on my nightstand. It just stays there, but not really. You know what I'm saying? And it's getting better now. I've been out 8 months, and I'm doing good, man. I got a good job. I got a good chick. I see my kids all the time, man. I'm just doing the family thing. You know what I'm saying? And it's helping, dude. And I ain't gonna lie. I go to this treatment. I see a dude that he was in the military, and I talk to him about every 2 weeks. And it's good, dude. I feel like I can vent and release some shit that I can't release because, when you're talking to your family about this shit, they don't understand, dude. They don't understand it. They don't realize how, like I was saying in Pollock, dude, none of the metal detectors work, dog. They don't care if you're stabbing each other. They're not, dude. When I got to Pollock, they wouldn't even lock you up for a knife. They would take your knife and just let you keep going. So if you put a box of knives in a prison, you don't think people are going to get stabbed? You know what I'm saying? It was so fucked up that the beds are missing. Literally half your motherfucking bunk is gone. Everybody in there's got a knife,
So people know, when you talk about half the bunk, that's because people are cutting steel out of the bunks. Mike, I still keep a knife almost everywhere I'm at. I'm in my office and there's a knife in it. It's weird, man, because
crazy.
Like, you know what else I wear in the street? I wear khakis, bro. It's when I feel comfortable. I wore khakis for 18 years, bro. I got on khakis right now.
Same way. Same here, dude. Straight up. And it's been like that for a long time. My favorite color is gray, and in my prison, it was grays, and I wear them all the time, dude. It's just crazy, dude. And I hope that one day it'll just disappear. You know what I'm saying? To where it's like in the back of my mind, where it ain't so forefront. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just so crazy because when I do tell like my girl and people, they're like, "Are you serious? The COs just let that shit happen? They don't do nothing about it after somebody gets stabbed. They don't come in and record, the bunks, or they don't do this. Hell no. The metal detectors don't work. They don't care, man. It's just that they don't care. They got a bunch of inmates in there. But what the sad thing is about it is these pens ain't full of lifers. Yes, there's a lot of lifers in there, but anymore, dude, it's dudes with 5, 6, 7, 8 years, man, that's going in there having to fucking either catch time or die, dude. And it's not right. You shouldn't go to a penitentiary just because you got a case pending. You're some minor ass case of nonviolent. This was my first drug offense ever. I was a nonviolent drug offender. I've never had violence on my history, dude, and was sent to a United States penitentiary. It's unreal, dude.
You had to put in work?
Hell yeah.
You ever feel bad after you did it? Like, damn, man.
Fuck, man. I did too, man. I felt bad. The dude was a thief, man. He was from Oklahoma, dude. And, my main thing when I got there, I wanted to get my paperwork out the way and I wanted to get my work out the way. Because if you're one of them guys that's ducking the work, you got a target on your back, dude. I seen it my whole bit. Anybody that ever, I want to wait or I don't feel like going right now. Those are the dudes that they look at like, man, the dude's a bitch, man. They're going to, you know what I'm saying? So right when I got there, I had a couple homeboys there, and that's the first thing I told them. Like, look, dude, my paperwork's on the way, because I called my dad. The day I got to use the phone, I called my dad and said, hey, dude, I need my motherfucking sentencing transcripts. I need all my shit. Because still in Pollock, like Big Sandy's fucked up. They won't even let you have paper there no more. So everything gets photocopied. So you can't have none of your legal work. When you get there from another transfer, they take all your paperwork and everything. So for real, there's so many bad calls happening there because you don't get your paperwork. So you're relying on somebody else, usually one of the old ladies or somebody that really don't know what the fuck they're looking at anyways, reading the paperwork. And then we're crushing dudes off of what this dude said. We ain't even got the paperwork to prove it. Where in Pollock, they let you have your PSI, your sentencing transcripts. They let you have everything. So I wanted to get all that shit out the way, man. So I jumped right in line. As soon as I got there, I think it was like 2 weeks after I got there, we crushed dude. And yeah, I felt fucked up, man. For one, I'm used to fighting on my own. I'm not no pussy. You know what I'm saying? So like I wanted to just give a dude a heads up. Let me put in work like that. You're talking I gotta go with some other dude to crush one dude. That shit ain't right. You know what I'm saying? So I was still in that mentality because in my state joint, that shit don't ride like that. You get ones with black dudes, Mexicans, with whoever you want. If you got an issue, you handle it like a man. You go in a cell and you throw your hands and you dust yourself off and keep going, you know? But in here, it was different. It's, hey, we want you to go with another dude and crush this dude's face off. Hey, make him bleed, you know? And it's like, fuck, dude, I'm not trying to catch no more time. I don't know this fucking dude. I don't give a fuck what he did. I don't fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? So I don't give a shit. Stay away from me, dude. You know, but it's not like that in there, man.
Now, Mike, you're out, man. You're free. You're able to live your best life. You never have to go back to prison if you don't want to. You determine it. You're in the driver's seat. You decide where your car goes now. You're the driver. What are you doing now that you're out?
Man, I'm working. I got a good job, man. I'm eating good. I'm kicking it with my chick. I'm seeing my kids. I'm living, dude. It's a beautiful thing. I mean, I took for granted, you know, some of the craziest shit that you think a motherfucker be missing when he's gone, it ain't like that, man. I miss the fresh air. I miss going outside and just being able to pick up a rock, just to see trees, you know what I'm saying? The simplest shit now. I see myself smiling all the time at shit that just, and it feels good. And some days it'll catch me off guard, dude, to where I'll see a mountain and shit and be like, damn, I'm free, fool. I am free, man. Just, you know, seeing my baby smile, being at their birthday parties, being a part of their life. Just, dude, you know, you take so much shit for granted, man. And you do stupid, senseless shit that you think is, you know, it's one decision. One decision is all it takes, man, to ruin your life. 10 years, 20 years, 40 years, 60 years. One decision. You can't get that shit back, man. You know what I'm saying? You can't.
It's crazy, man. I'm glad you're out, man. Before we get ready to go, right? Message, man. Some young white kid, man, in Missouri. His father's been to prison. His uncle's been to prison. He's heading down the wrong road, caught up in the drug game. What's your message to him?
Man, think about what you're doing, dude, because you don't even know what you're finna get involved in, you know? You know, it don't matter who you are, how tough you are, how thorough you are, what it is, dude. It's nonsense, man. You're going to get into a place that you don't want to be, and you're going to be made do shit that you don't want to do, man. So my best advice to a kid like that, man, is pick up a book, man. Learn something, dude. Learn a trade. Do something with your life, man. Be happy, because in prison, dude, you ain't finna be happy, man. Straight up.
What's your son's name, Mike?
Zane.
I'm 15-year-old Zane, and I'm asking you, Dad, what kind of gangs they got in there? What's your response?
I told him straight up. He asked me to see if I was in a gang. And I said, look, dude, I don't run with gangs. I don't run with anybody. This place is trash. It's messed up. It's horrible, dude. You have no rights. You have no nothing, dude. You know what I'm saying? This is not the life that you want to even consider or look at. None of this shit's cool. None of this shit gains you anything, dude. It's the worst mistake I've ever made in my life. You know what I mean? And I try to tell him, and he told me, you know, Dad, I'm never going to prison. I just wanted to know, I wanted to know if you got beat up or if you got in fights or if, I just wanted to know that you was all right. And he cleaned it up after, talking to him and getting to really feel of what he feels, man. And he knows, I can see he's a smart kid, dude. You know what I'm saying? And I can see that he don't want to take that path. He knows he's seen enough with me, you know what I mean? Being gone and away and he wants to be a welder, man. So I'm all for it, dude. I'm trying to help him any way I can, man.
What's up, man? Be the best father you could be. I'm going to tell people, man, if you like what we're doing, you already know what it is. Hit that like button. With respect, Blood on the Razor Wire TV. Until tomorrow, we're out.